The Martin Luther King Jr. slander has to stop. I saw a post today from Charleston White. I've been following Charleston White, not too closely, but he's all over the internet. If you're active on social media, you're going to see Charleston White pop up on your timeline at some point in time. And you can bet money, you could bet whatever you want to bet that he's going to be saying something triggering or outlandish, reckless, whatever you want to call it. He's going to be speaking some very raw truth from his own perspective. So, kind of just want to set the tone, walking y'all through why I'm at the point now to speak about Martin Luther King and the slander. And we're going to go deep into, I don't know how deep we're going to go. I'm just going to talk. So today, the post that I saw from Charleston White was a clip that I had seen before. I've seen clips of him speaking negatively about Martin Luther King. And this is something I'm seeing a lot more nowadays. It's very, very different because Martin Luther King Jr. he's one of those figures that I never would have thought would have a lot of negativity around his name because he had a very pure mission. He spoke very openly about what his mission was, and it was all about love and bringing people together. So, I never thought that we would see a day where there's a lot of people speaking negatively about him, especially people of, the brown complexion. I have seen the conversations comparing or basically people picking a side on if they prefer Martin Luther King's mentality or Malcolm X's mentality. We're going to go in on that. It's a lot to talk about. But let me just walk you through how I got to this point. So I saw a post, Charleston White, and he was basically saying that Martin Luther King's dream is why black people are fucked up now. Because, Martin had this dream to integrate. And because he had this dream to integrate, that's why a lot of black people don't have our own businesses and we don't have our own establishments. And, we're eating at the Asian people's places. I think something in the video, he was talking about how Asian people are making fried chicken. And there's no reason why black people should be eating Asian people's fried chicken when we got all this, good cooking. And, he's basically blaming the shortcomings of black people in the black community. He's blaming it on Martin Luther King's dream. And I just don't like that. I don't like that. Really, really bugs my spirit to see people speak down on Martin like that. I've seen clips of Charleston White addressing that, Martin Luther King Jr.'s kids have negative opinions about him. Now, if his kids have negative opinions about him, that is totally their right. That's their father. So I ain't never going to say that his kids shouldn't feel a certain way about him because kids are selfish. Kids want a certain energy from our parents, and we feel like our parents owe us some type of energy. So when you have a figure as prominent as Martin Luther King Jr. and the macro vision that he had to fight for America and to bring a lot of people together, there's a sacrifice that comes with that. And it happens on the micro level, on the family level. The problem I have with judging him about that is that there's a deeper issue going on. There is a deeper macro issue going on that's fucking up our micro communities, our families and our villages and our towns. And that's the part that really bothers me, is because we're villainizing Martin Luther King Jr. as if his dream is the reason why the communities were fucked up to begin with. And that's the part I don't like. I don't like it. I think it's really fucked up because he sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed himself trying to guide humans in a more loving direction. This man was born into extreme racism. He didn't create racism. I'm not going to villainize anybody that was fighting for freedom. This shit is sad. So now we got Black people who are divided in thought patterns and mentalities. But you got to think about what the conversation is about. We talking about freedom fighters, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, both great men, brave men who lived their lives and sacrificed for the betterment of their people because they saw the atrocities that were happening. They saw the racism, the bigotry, the discrimination, the segregation, the unfair treatment, the disrespect, the outright disrespect for a group of people based on color. This shit is wrong. So whenever I speak, I like to speak from a place where everybody can understand something. There has to be a common ground in the conversation because I see a lot of people spewing out shit and they saying a lot of hurtful things. Charleston White gets on the internet and he says a lot of things that hurt people. Now, I don't personally hate Charleston White. I love his content and I love that he's brave enough to get on here and say what he wants. Now, he has openly said that he only gets on the internet to fuck with y'all. He's on the internet playing. But he believes everything he's saying. And you can tell when a person is really connected to what they're saying. He's hiding behind the character so that he doesn't have to take full accountability for the things he says on the internet. It removes that weight from him. He can just get on here and spew off a bunch of shit, but he's not spewing things that he doesn't actually believe. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to say these things with the amount of conviction that he does. That's why a lot of people are confused with him. Because it's like you got a demographic of people that listen to Charleston White and they really are soaking up gems from this man. And then you got another demographic of people that just see him as a character and they just think, oh, this nigga just online saying whatever he got to say to get some views. And he's actually, it's like, it's a little bit of both. You don't come from a background that Charleston White has for fighting for the community, being part of the government and fighting for the community in the way that he felt was best. He took the more political law legislation route and he put in that work. And that's one thing you cannot argue the time and efforts that a person puts in. That's why he can get online and talk the shit that he talks. That's why I respect him, because I know it's coming from a real place. It's just this character shit. It puts him in a position to really influence a lot of people's thinking. And as much as we think this internet shit is just a game and we just on here talking shit, no, it's real people absorbing the information on the internet. And we know these are real people speaking. And these are real profiles that are commenting and absorbing this content. And when you're reckless with what you say, you have a real effect on people and you spark real conversations. So you get a personality like Charleston who's saying this shit about Martin Luther King, and he'll go against any idea that's widely accepted. Like, he don't give a fuck. So if everybody loved Martin Luther King, fuck Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? He that type of polarizing figure. But I honestly feel like he means everything he says. He's not just saying shit just to say it. He's a truth teller. He's telling it how it really is and how he genuinely feels it. But it's this Martin Luther King slander that I really, really just have a problem with. You know, I grew up in Stone Mountain, Georgia, right up the street from Atlanta. So I claim the city of Atlanta. Atlanta is my city. Stone Mountain is the more specific town that I grew up in. There's history in Stone Mountain when it comes to the civil rights movement and just racism in Georgia. If you know anything about actual Stone Mountain, the Ku Klux Klan used to have their Klan meetings at the top of Stone Mountain. So there was a lot of racism here. And yeah, I was born on the land where all this shit was going on. And I remember just being in school, learning a lot about these civil rights leaders. Just really think about that. Listen at that phrase, civil rights leaders. The fact that we would even need, just want to make sure my mic is on. The fact that we would even need leaders fighting for our civil rights. You got to really think about this shit. This is why I'm not accepting no Martin Luther King Jr. slander. And none of us should even be fighting over which freedom fighter was the best freedom fighter. We sitting here having conversations about Martin Luther King and being mad at him because he guided people down this path that was really, oh, okay, this is another thing they bring up, is that toward the end of Martin Luther King Jr.'s life, he acknowledged that he was leading his people into a burning building, basically. I want to acknowledge that no leader is perfect. No leader has everything figured out. We're all learning as we go. Every leader has a vision and a dream for their people. And it's based on the environment that they come up in. You come up in an environment where people are literally attacking you, taking your rights away, your basic human rights. That's fucked up. We sitting here having conversations about the people that's fighting against the actual evil. And I want to get back to the core of the issue. The issue is that people don't love each other. There are people on this planet who have had evil intentions. Colonization is why we're here. Racism is wrong. This is something that majority of the population can agree on. If you have a heart, if you have anything in you that's righteous, then you can agree that it's wrong to see a group of people and to say, I'm going to discriminate against you. I'm going to attack you. I'm going to put out negative propaganda about you. I'm going to wipe your people away. I'm going to take your history from you. Now, these same people you discriminating against and attacking, they're valuable and they have things that you learn from. So the same people that colonized us took our ideas, manipulated our history. This is evil shit. This is the evil shit that Martin Luther King Jr. was born into, Malcolm X was born into. So I'm not going to critique anybody that's brave enough to fight against it, however you want to go against it, whether it was the nonviolent way that Martin Luther King went and the integration that he spoke of. I'm going to go in on integration too. Or you want to go to Malcolm X route, which was more of take care of us and our people. Now, in a perfect world, in a close to perfect world, I think about how was this planet running before the colonizers went and explored and raped people and killed civilizations and took over land and forced their culture and their language onto people. And before that, what were people doing? Everybody was minding their business. Everybody was on their land with their people, building with their own. So whatever continent you want to look at, Asia, South America, North America, Africa, Europe, Australia, everybody's in their own land with their own culture, with their own people, and everybody looks different, right? This is why you have different races of people, different ethnicities. Every ethnicity has their own culture, the way that they speak, the way that they create, their food, their clothing, the way they look. You can tell where a person is from based on how they look. So what we have right now is a world where the true cultures of a land have been infiltrated and manipulated, wiped away, and we don't even have the true culture of these lands anymore. You don't hear the native tongue in all parts of Africa. I have friends in Africa and their main language they speak is English, but you can barely understand it. It's not really their native tongue. The way that their dialect and their accent comes out, like they're not supposed to be speaking English. We live in a very integrated society, and that's why I will never speak against Martin Luther King's approach. Because at this point, there is no you just build with your people. Because that's the Malcolm X side. They want people that are black to just worry about our own and build with our own. How? How the fuck do we do that now? When we've already been colonized. We've already had history wiped away. Our ancestors were fucked in more ways than one. Completely fucked over. We don't know who we really come from. We were not able to come up in an environment where our ancestors, our people were together and we had a thriving community and a tribe. We don't know what that feels like, but we know that's something that we should have. We know that this shit is fucked up. So I'm not with all this critiquing how a freedom fighter fought for their freedom. Everybody has their own way of attacking an issue. But one thing we can agree on is the issue. The issue is we're not supposed to be born into this shit. Martin Luther King did not create this bullshit. Malcolm X didn't create this bullshit. And any other freedom fighter who's fighting against the atrocities that have been placed on us by evil people who are greedy, evil people who want what they want and don't know how to negotiate and compromise and work with people. People that want to steal, people that want to kill. Those are the people that's wrong. Anybody that has evil in their heart. We need to stop creating war between the people that are trying to fight for something righteous. Now we got all these conversations about which righteous being, which freedom fighter was the best freedom fighter. That's not the conversation to be having. That's not the thing to be in your feelings about. I'm in my feelings because we have our greatest leaders. We really have to sit here and look at our greatest leaders in a light that they were like, they couldn't even lead their people from just a pure place. You know how every culture, every tribe has a chief, right? Like you will have a leader of your tribe that you can follow, that you can listen to. And when that leader passes, their legacy is that they took care of their people. You learn like what they did to help their village and their town and your people. And then the next leader rises up, and it's all about just the caring of your people. It ain't attached to some wrongdoing. All of our leaders are attached to this energy of fighting against. Malcolm and Martin should not have been born into a world where they had to fight against this type of shit. That's the fucked up part. And we want to sit here and argue about the dream. You want to argue. You want to shoot a man down for having a dream, having the balls to walk in something he didn't really know. Imagine carrying that weight as an individual. You see that there's suffering happening and wrongdoings, and nobody's really guiding our people into a better position. Everybody's just making do with what's going on. But every generation of people needs leaders. So when these leaders rise, it's like they have ideas of where to go and how to lead their people toward a better, more fair, and a more thriving society. For you to even have the guts to do that, nobody should speak down on this man. Nobody. Now, if Martin Luther King Jr.'s kids want to speak down on him, again, that's their right. And like I said before, kids are selfish. Kids want what they want from their parents, and they feel like their parents should not fight for anything before them. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that, because if there's something bigger working against us, how do we have the strong family? How could we really have the strong villages and the strong communities that we're supposed to be living in? Because community is bigger than just your immediate family. Your parents, that's really it. Y'all think that's just all we need, is just your parents, the kids, the siblings? We need the village. We need the true tribe. We always hear it. It takes a village to raise a child. You can't put all that weight on Martin Luther King Jr. Why? Because he had a bigger vision to fight for. Because he wanted not just the best for his kids, he wanted the best for all of his people. That's what leaders do. Leaders fight for the collective. And it's like, no matter how hard you fight for people, they always gonna have some negative shit to say. And I'm just like, I'm looking at Charleston like, come on, bro. You spent years fighting for the community. And I understand you got to a point where you said, fuck the community. I know how that feels. I've spent 15 years of my young adult life fighting for the community. Not in the way that you fought. You fought, again, through legislation and through laws. I don't know anything about government and laws. So that's something I respect about you, is that you understand things that I don't understand. So I know you've walked a path that I would never walk, and you could teach me a lot of things about how it works on that side. because that's a lot of the shit that's controlling us and fucking us up, because it is a system that we are following, and this system was built by evil people. People, colonizers built this system. System wasn't built by people who just loved their people, who were from a land and just wanted to see the best for their people. No, it's like divide, conquer, take over, and let's create some new shit. This is how we want to run shit, and we gonna make your people follow what the fuck we doing. It's fucking cruel, man. It's cruel fucking energy. So you understand what's going on in that side of it. And from my knowledge, you said you spent years creating laws to try and improve what's already going on in the system. I love that approach. We need people like you and people that understand that side. I took more of the social approach. I believe that true change happens on the ground with the people. We need social change. We got to change the way we talk and deal with each other. Because if we rely too much on the politicians, if we rely too much on the government, we'll never see real change in our communities, because these politicians, these governments, they're not on the ground with us every day. They have their own lives and own families to feed. And at the end of the day, working in the government and being a politician is a job. They get paid to do that. And then they go home and they go to their family and their kids. They have a personal life. You know, they live in a community, and whatever they do in their community is their business too. So we're not going to see real change until we take accountability for our own selves and our own communities. So I've worked for 15 years dealing with people on a personal level, getting to know regular everyday people and trying to build a tribe. I've been trying to build a global community. And Martin Luther King Jr. influenced me a lot because, like I said, I heard his dream. His dream is in me. And I will always believe in his dream, because at this point, we have to integrate. How could we say we can't go backwards? We can't go backwards. At one point, everybody was in their own situation, right? Everybody's building with their own tribes and doing their own thing. And then at a certain point, as you populate, as humans reproduce, okay, now you got more people. You need more resources. You got to explore more. So as these tribes get bigger, of course, you're going to run into the next tribe. You're going to run into the neighboring tribe. So then that's when you have to work together. It's impossible for everybody to just be in their own bubble, because you have to expand and you have to build relationships outside of your tribe. This is just naturally what happens. And then this is when the interaction between humans has to become better. You go and you see these different tribes of people that have different ways of flowing. And then they come from a land that has things that you don't have. So now you get into trade relations. We need each other. We need each other. There's no way that you could just operate in your own space anymore. All this shit about just fight for your own race, it's bullshit. There is no own race. Show me a full-blooded anything right now. Show me anybody that's not mixed. You know how rare that is? We've been fucking. Different races of people been fucking and reproducing. It is what it is. This is a very integrated society. There's no going backwards. There is no black versus white versus Asian versus African versus European. Everybody's mixed. And not only are we mixed on an organic level, again, colonization, these people forced themselves into land that wasn't theirs. So you got people, you got to be a very greedy person to colonize, right? You got to really be thinking that what you have, I want it. You're not trying to give it to me willingly, because who the fuck is going to give everything that they've worked for and built to somebody just coming in because they want it? No, this is when you have to compromise. This is when you have to trade. This is when you have to work with other people. And humans suck at this, especially evil people, because they want it their way or no way. So you have a group of people that wanted it their way. So much so that they did the most evil shit that you could think of. And they killed and wiped away people just so they could have their way. It gets to that point. If you want it that bad, you have to kill. And there are people on this planet that did that, and they create this energy of war. That's the problem, man. People don't know how to work together. They don't know how to interact. This is the thing I've been addressing in society. And I've always believed in a non-violent approach. You're not You're not a man because you can kill another person. That's the most cowardly thing you can do. You don't kill your fellow man, especially if that man ain't doing nothing to you. That tribe of people may have more than you. That might spark a feeling of jealousy. Colonizers were jealous. Anybody who's a colonizer, you're jealous, you're insecure. You see that there's a group of people thriving. They have things that you don't have. They have a land that's richer than yours. Before money, yeah, we just had to judge riches based on the land. There are people that were born on richer land than others. That's where the jealousy first started. Because now your land is richer than mine. You have resources that I don't have. My people over here don't have the resources you have. So I want what you have. And I want it in the abundance that you have it. I don't want to just take what you can give me because I don't have these resources on my land. This is the mind of a colonizer. And I've had this conversation about how Europe, if you just look at how these continents look, Europe is the smallest continent, and it's in the region of the planet that just the weather, the climate, the land is just, it's not as rich as other lands or other areas of the world. So I try to get into the mind of a European colonizer, and I try to understand what possessed you to do these type of evil things to other people. And it goes back to these resources and the feeling of lack. Like when you come from a land that's lacking, you have to explore. And then when you go find something that's richer than where you come from, it's like, I understand you want it. So now we're here because out of survival, out of the instinct to just survive and make sure their people continue, they had to do evil shit just to ensure that their people could continue to reproduce and be on the planet. These are just survival things that's going on at this point. But it don't make it right. It's wrong. It's fucking wrong. But in their wrong actions, we've created a world now that's more connected than it's ever been. As divided as we are, and as much war as we see, I don't think there's a piece of the planet that doesn't speak English. Well, there are some places where you can find some people that speak the native tongue, and that's beautiful to me that there are still areas where people speak their language. So in the colonizers' attempt to control the world, what they're actually doing is connecting the world, and they're always going to depend on us. The colonizer cannot survive without the people that they control. So there is no separation. People like to bring up the approach, the Malcolm X approach, where black people take care of their own. So those people would be on the side of Black Wall Street. You have a thing that happened in America called Black Wall Street, where a bunch of black people, and I always do quotes because black is not real, white is not real. A bunch of black people got together, built their own community, had everything that they needed to sustain themselves and didn't have to depend on the white man. And what happened? They got wiped the fuck out by the colonizer. The colonizer does not want to see a group of people thriving without them getting a piece of it. That's the evil shit. So whatever your approach is, whether it is to go build on your own with your people and leave the white people alone, the colonizer alone, that approach we have seen has not worked. When you try to be the peacemaker, when you try to be the Martin Luther King, that doesn't seem to work. What fucking works? What works? That's why people say the only thing we could do is go to war. But how? How do you go to war? You got black people that want to build these militia. How the fuck is your military going to compete with this military that's having wars overseas? Do you think you can compete with the weaponry, the technology? Do you have fighter planes? Do you have bombs that you could drop on people? What the fuck is your little militia going to do against the United States military? Think about that. You got people on U.S. soil thinking that the way to go about this is to create militia? It would just have to be a complete all-out civil revolt. That is the only thing that could happen that could just reset everything. And who the fuck wants to do that? Who the fuck just everybody? And how? How do you get every single person to revolt at the same time and everybody be willing to die? Everybody just go outside with a gun and just, what the fuck is that gonna fix? The fuck is that gonna fix? People have to let go of these unhealthy mentalities that have gotten us here. So again, I'm not accepting no Martin Luther King Jr. slander. This man was moving from a pure place. Why wouldn't we want to live in a world where all races of people can work together? This is where we're at. And Charleston White, I heard you say in a video before, you've said in multiple videos that you're not the savior. Fine, you don't have to be the savior. You have openly said you ain't trying to save motherfuckers. Cool. But I also heard you say something about the savior is going to be some mixed person, somebody who's just mixed race, and they're going to have a mentality that can bring people together. So I know that there's something in you that knows that there will be a time when we all come together, because you've spoken about that, and that there will be a person in this new generation coming up that will bring people together. I have that type of mentality to bring people together, and I'm always going to have that mentality. I don't believe that violence or segregation is ever the answer. How? Violence is the reason why we fucked up. Martin Luther King had a quote about how you can't drive hate out with hate. Only love can do that. The problem is we not loving enough. So, Charleston can get online with all this rah-rah shit and all this fucking playing a character shit and saying outlandish things and feeling like the internet is just his playground to make money. Fine, do that. But you know what happens when you bring that energy in front of a real human. I always pull from the Kevin Gates situation that happened, where you spoke on Kevin and then Kevin hit you with that real human energy. And no matter how much you trying to play a character, when you're in front of some real shit, you gotta be a man and be real. You can't just be playing character all the fucking time. I don't give a damn if it is the internet. Yes, it is a lot of idiots online that you could play on. But I don't agree with that approach to be telling people to get online and play on people. And nah, man, we're just gonna breed a bunch of fucking people that want to spew out bullshit. Like, this ain't really affecting people's real lives and mentalities. It is. People get online, whether you like it or not. These are real people. And these phones have become integrated into our daily life. We make real money on these phones. These phones are like some people's complete livelihood at this point. We use our phone to look at the news. We use our phone to get a laugh. We use our phone to talk to our loved ones. It's so much important shit that we use our phones for. And these phones bring the world together. We live in a world of integration. So I don't understand why people still think that this mentality to just take care of you and your own, again, show me a full-blooded anything. Everybody's fucking mixed at this point. You can't claim one ethnicity of people. You can't. You come from a lot of different people who reproduced and who explored and connected with different walks of life. Now we live in a world where you could travel the world easily, way easier than we were able to before. Before there wasn't even a way that you could see the world and see so many different types of people. Nowadays, you could hop on a plane, sit on a plane for a few hours, and you could fly across the world to a country that you were not born in. You can absorb their history, a whole nother history of centuries and centuries of humans that lived on that land before they were able to get in a contraption and fly. Humans ain't supposed to be flying. We doing a lot of shit that we weren't naturally designed to do. So now we live in a world that's unnatural, but we can make the best of it. And the way you do that is through integration. So I'm not accepting any Martin Luther King Jr. hate. He's not the reason why quote unquote black people are fucked up. How dare y'all speak against a man that sacrificed for us, that spoke a message of love and spoke against racism, but did it in a way that wasn't just let's go to war. He wanted to bring the love out of the colonizer. He wanted to bring the accountability out of the person that did all this bullshit. So yeah, every great leader can acknowledge when they might be doing something that was maybe not right, or maybe their approach wasn't the most effective, but he only knew what he knew when he was doing it. He only knew what he knew. And I think he did a whole lot. I think he did damn well. He did a damn good job with what he knew. And he used his gift to plant the seeds he wanted to plant. He influenced a lot of people in a positive way. It's about fixing our mentality about how we look at each other. We do have to love each other. So yeah, man, I don't fuck with all this damn MLK slander. It's becoming way too fucking common. Like, why is it now we want to talk about MLK was a womanizer? When did that shit come out? It's like a whole smear campaign happening. Like, they just don't want us to think positively about anybody that was doing anything positive. Anybody that was trying to go against this evil, corrupt shit. We just don't want to have any positive thoughts about these people. We just want to find some kind of way to put a negative seed in your mind so that you don't love the people that actually was trying to do something from a loving place. And unfortunately, the people that move in love in this world end up having to fight against motherfuckers that don't love. Like, what the fuck is so damn difficult about love, man? Love yourself and love the people around you. Respect the people around you. So it's just a lack of respect of humanity. You don't just respect the people that look like you. All this, I don't look. If you're all about black people, I don't hate you. But the issue is bigger than that. You can't just be fighting for black people. That ain't pushing the right message moving forward. It's bigger than color. That's why we in this bullshit, because people care too much about color. Now you feel like you only can have pride for people that got your same skin complexion. I don't give a fuck, man. It's all walks of life I've met. It's pure-hearted people. It's pure-hearted white people who have played very significant roles in my black life. I don't claim to be black, so I don't claim none of that bullshit. At what point do we see this something bigger to fight for? Keep bringing our kids into this segregated ass bullshit. And I do believe you live and let live. Everybody ain't gotta live the same. This whole idea that the whole world gotta be under one law and one this new world order bullshit, man, y'all on some weird ass shit, bro. Humans be on some weird ass fucking shit. And now everybody's just trying to find the best way to navigate in this corrupt, sick ass world that was created by a human that was greedy and evil and just wanted more. Just wasn't at peace and did not feel fulfilled with what they had, and just didn't want to work with other humans. Because the colonizer could have worked with the people that they colonized. We embraced the colonizer. Yeah. Do you think my ancestors didn't see the colonizer come in and look at them as a colonizer? It's like, oh, my people are loving people. We embraced you. We embraced you. Yeah, we even taught you things. We got to know you. You know what I mean? We didn't look at you and immediately fight you. Nah, my people wouldn't do that. My people wouldn't fucking do that. How you think you got in and got so much information? Because we loved you. We are loving people. Yeah, and we respect the earth and we respect life. You motherfuckers don't respect life. Y'all don't respect human life. You don't respect animal life. You don't respect no life. That's fucking evil. These are the real issues. Y'all want to talk about Martin Luther King and his dream. Bitch, what's your dream? It's so many of y'all be getting amped up because you hear somebody like Charleston White get online talking his shit. Now everybody in the comments all of a sudden has a voice, and now all of a sudden everybody in the comments like, he right. He's speaking that truth though, Martin Luther King. Bitch, you ain't never said nothing negative about Martin Luther King. Shut the fuck up. Y'all just a bunch of damn followers. Anybody that can get in front of people and speak with conviction, you want to listen and find some type of like validation in what they saying. Yeah, okay, he might be saying something that makes sense, but have your own mind. Stop hopping on these damn trains and shit, man. That shit is weak. Because Charleston gets online and starts speaking negatively about Martin Luther King, now all of a sudden it's a whole community. Where the fuck have y'all been? I promise you, I've been alive for 36 years. I've been online for a long time. I've been seeing what y'all talk about. I ain't never seen in my fucking life this many people speaking negatively about Martin Luther King. Why all of a sudden? Why all of a sudden y'all got so much negative shit to say about this man? That's disturbing. That's the type of influence that a leader can have. And whether Charleston likes it or not, talking about he ain't trying to be no savior, you have a voice of a savior. If you would use it in a way that could really like push us somewhere positive. You're very smart. You're very articulate. And I know you did real work for the community, so I know you got a heart. You ain't no evil motherfucker. I see how you embrace Kevin Gates when he had to check you. Somebody got to check you. Somebody got to get you off that bullshit sometimes. And then we always want to hide behind this comedy label. Now all of a sudden Charleston want to be a comedian and he wants to be on the road and make your money, bro. I ain't mad at that, but you ever notice how actually the most raw truth speakers in the world are comedians? If you want to look at Hollywood and the entertainment world, the comedians are always the biggest truth tellers. But we can't even fully process and use and apply their messages because we looking at them like they just telling jokes. And then the jokes are converted into money and they just survive off the money. How we label people matters. The role you play in this world and the thing you embrace, it matters. And I know deep down, Charleston, you still got that heart to want to help people. You really want to see our communities better. You care about these kids. I know you get online for the shits but this shit is, you cannot separate internet from real life. This is real. Them same kids that you take care of and speak to in the communities in real life, they say real life, those same kids get on the internet. They can see how you speak on the internet. And they ain't going to see it as a character because they know you. They're really going to see your words and be like, damn, that ain't the Charleston I met in person. Like, what the fuck is this? Them kids gonna grow up and they gonna be able to see all this content you left behind. And look, you got the right to do whatever you want. I understand what you're doing. Play the game. Pimp the system, pimp the internet, make your money. I'm just saying you're having a real effect on people. And the shit you saying, everybody ain't got the same type of mentality or the strong. You're strong mentally. That's why you're a leader. People who are strong got to be very mindful of what they're saying, how they feeding the people. Now, if you've seriously gotten to the point where you don't give a fuck about humans, then stop doing any community work. Don't separate it. If you're just going to be a character, be a character. Be the fucking, that's how I know it's all bullshit. All that damn shit is cap. When you get online with the fuckery, that ain't you. And you've openly said it. You've openly said it. That's why like that shit disturbs me, man, because we love Charleston White. Well, I'll just say some people hate you because of the character. But if they really knew you, They wouldn't hate you. Anybody that hates you, Charleston, they just don't know your real spirit. They judging you based on this character, and you're capitalizing off of it. You playing the villain. I understand what you're doing, but because I know your heart and I know your real mission, and I know you give a damn about people, that's the sad part. Because this is what this world does: is it takes genuine, good-hearted people and it turns them cold, turns them into just these monsters that just don't give a fuck. But you're not a monster. None of these people that have made that decision to just flip are monsters. We genuinely want the best for our people, but we so fucking sick. It's hard to build with our people now. It's so hard because I just said, like, 15 years I've been trying to build communities with people. I've built 5 different communities. One community right now that I'm still managing, but I'm not on this mission to save the entire world. I just want to build with my people. I want people that understand the importance of this social change that I'm here to spark, and I just want to build with those people and let it grow organically. Uh, but instead of prioritizing that community, I had to learn to prioritize myself. But I'm not doing it in an angry type of way, and I'm definitely not doing it in a way where I'm just trying to hurry up and get $1 online. And I just think your approach and how you did it, it caused you to kind of just get mad, and you said fuck this shit and just started. I understand that you get to that point where you do feel upset, because I just went through that myself when I pulled away from so many people that I was trying to help. And these same people you have a heart for, like I said, they're so sick. They don't even understand the depth of their sickness. They're operating in a way that the colonizer embedded in us. We've been programmed not to love each other. We don't even understand how deep this shit go. And all we want to focus on is our own individual progress and get into a bag. The money is separating us. Our mentalities about just life and people, and it's all fucked up. This shit is deep. This shit is deep. So please, man, stop slandering the few people, the little small percentage of humans that had the guts to try and fight for something for our people. Don't ever slander these people, especially Martin. Martin Luther King Jr. is one of our greatest freedom fighters in America. And he had good in his heart. He was trying to fight for something good. That's the thing that's going to live on. I would hate for this shit to get so ugly that we forget that this man was actually doing something pure. Stop tearing people down. We always want to tear somebody down, man. That's that sick colonizer culture of just assassinating people's character. Can we please stop assassinating our leaders? The people that really wanted something good for us, no matter how they went about doing that. Stop tearing people down. That shit is not fucking cool at all. And if you want to tear them down, show me what the fuck you're doing that was better than what they did. Who the fuck are you leading? What movement are you sparking that would warrant these negative words that you putting onto these people that did real work and died for something? Really fucking died for the cause. They didn't give up on the cause. They didn't become a character and get rich. They literally lived their whole lives connected to a purpose. And I hear Charleston talk a lot about being a man of purpose. That's facts. A man gotta be rooted in something. A man gotta die for something. So you online saying you'll die for what you saying. That's how I know you not playing. You're not a character. You're a real man. You're a real person. Stop hiding behind that fucking... Stop. Because it's making the messages get real blurry. And everybody not going to see you. I see you. A lot of people see you. Shit is deep, man. Shit is real deep. So I want to close this live. I don't think I have anything else to say. I just want to make sure I've said everything, because I'm going to pull up a song a composition that I wrote that I know applies to the message I gave today. Um, Shout out to Malcolm X, great leader. Martin Luther King Jr., great leader. Both of them, great leaders. It is not a leader's job to be perfect. It is not a leader's job to lead everybody up out of this fucking bullshit in the perfect way. They can only do what they're moved to do, and then it's up to the people. It's up to the people to love each other and to build together. That's all this shit is about. It's about advancement and the betterment of people, and you got to better your mentality and the way you think about shit before you can improve your moves. And a lot of people are stuck in a sick mentality. Fix the mentality. Stop using our leaders as the scapegoat. Is that the correct way to use that word? You're basically placing blame on the leader and blaming them for shit when they were the only ones in that time period, some of the few that had the guts to even stand for something. And now all you weak motherfuckers that ain't did nothing on that level, you want to be critical of what they did, and then you want to slander their name? Come on, bro. That shit is weak as fuck. That shit is weak. I just want to make sure I get everything I need to say out about this, because it's a very deep conversation. I addressed Charleston White. I addressed Martin Luther King Jr. slander. Please stop that shit, because I promise y'all have not been talking that shit about Martin your whole life. All of a sudden, y'all just want to start talking shit about this man. Stop that shit. That is not going to fix our current issues. And I just want to make sure I do drive this point that segregation, not even segregation, but separation, separate communities is done. That's in the past. It ain't no more of that. We are an integrated world. We are the more integrated, the most integrated and immigrated. Fuck you mean? Integrated, immigrated, all that shit. This is the most integrated society of humans we've ever seen. And this new world that we live in, this digital world that's connecting everybody, it's showing you that this is where we're at. Everybody got to learn to love each other. Most of us don't really know our real ancestors. So how the fuck can you be so connected to just your people? You don't really know your people. How the fuck you gonna tell me you know your people and you gotta go online to ancestry.com? You gotta pay to know who you come from. And if you really fully trust that, then that's on you. But if I gotta pay to know my ancestors, I don't trust that. Anything that has to do with paying or capitalizing off of some shit that I should already know, why the fuck? That's how deep this shit go. And y'all want to have these little spats. These little spats y'all be so fucking emotional about. It's deeper shit going on that we all can relate to. That's the thing we need to focus on. What is the one thing that really brings us together? We know we're supposed to be loving each other. So stop it. Stop acting like we're not connected. We are all connected, no matter what race you are, no matter what land you come from. We in this shit together at this point. I got friends from around the world who speak English in all different accents. So shout out to the colonizer for bringing us together so that we can actually communicate with everybody. But now at this point, it's about what is the world going to look like years from now that we are connected? As evil and as sick as it had to get, there's some beauty that can come from this if we do the right thing as people. And the colonizer knows that they need us. So as evil as your ancestors were for what they did, it's a whole new generation of people that come from those racist people and those evil divide and conquer mentality that they had. Like those people birthed kids, and those kids don't necessarily adopt the same mentality as their ancestors, because they can judge the world themselves. And every human got a heart. And I believe majority of us want to love. Majority of us want what's good, not just for ourselves, but for our communities. And we can see that our communities suck. Our communities are hurting. We've been through a lot of trauma. These are the conversations that we gotta have. Stop fucking assassinating people. This man already dead. Martin Luther King Jr. is dead already. Y'all can't even let motherfuckers rest. Want to keep having these conversations about what the fuck they did. How much of a coward you gotta be the biggest coward in the world to be so critical of a dead man. And you're still alive. Like, how you being critical of a dead man and you're still alive? I ain't got no respect for a person that wants to critique what a dead man did with his life when you still living. You so critical about what a motherfucker did while they was here, you still got breath in your lungs. So if you that critical of a person that sacrificed and did something, then what the fuck are you doing? Be passionate about your own moves. Be passionate about what the fuck you leaving on the earth. Stop using all your energy to tear motherfuckers down. Y'all cowards. Y'all like to talk to the dead people. You like to talk to the celebrities. You like to talk to the government. I'm talking to you. I like talking to people. The collective, the what they call it, the 99%. The 99% is full of coward ass motherfuckers that don't stand for shit and just absorb shit and regurgitate and are influenced by anything that makes them feel something in here and do something for your people, for your people. You first, better your motherfucking self first, because a lot of y'all got shit that you ain't healed from. Don't be talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Don't be talking about nobody that lived and did some great shit. You ain't got no, how dare y'all, man? Like, you will never even amount to anything close to what that man did. And he was sacrificing for you. The same motherfucker he was sacrificing for. Y'all getting online slandering this man's name. Why? Because Charleston White got on a video and said some shit and you think he making sense? Shut the fuck up, man. I want to make sure I get all this shit out in just this video so I don't have to talk about this shit anymore. This shit is disturbing. And y'all abusing the internet. This is what y'all getting on social media talking about. You getting online arguing about all this bullshit. You could be getting online, getting to know people. Look at the comment sections of all these posts that y'all be following. And look at the amount of people that are commenting and the amount of people that are not interacting. That's the problem. That's the problem. And that's what MLK was addressing. The lack of love and unity. The lack of connection. Too much of this. Too much throwing stones at each other. Too much killing each other. Based on what? Bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit, y'all. Stop. Fucking stop. When are y'all gonna stop? Stop prioritizing this money over humans. Stop prioritizing bullshit. Our kids gotta come up in this. And you can fight for you on your own without being a dick to everybody else. You don't have to be an asshole to the world to take care of your own. You don't have to step on people outside of your people. You don't have to be cruel. What the fuck is that? Stop doing that stupid shit. I'm going to play my composition called One Race Matters. I wrote a composition called One Race Matters where I address this topic of racism and black and white. You'll hear the lyrics, so just listen. I have years of music that I've been sitting on. I ain't really been putting it out or trying to get it to people, but I'm at the point now where, because I've been on my 15-year path of fighting for the community, I've made my sacrifices the same way MLK made his sacrifices. I just did it in a different kind of way, in a digital world. There's different issues that I'm faced with that Martin wasn't faced with. Every person on this planet that's trying to improve something has to use the tools that they have. So I've been using this internet, this social media to talk and to deal with strangers. I've been talking to people from around the world and just building these communities that bring us together. But what I've learned is that it's not gonna work that way when you try too hard to get people to love each other. Like, we can all see that we need to love each other more. And I know I'm a vessel that's here to bring that love out of people. So when you're overly excited about that, you take whatever path is in you to take. Like how Charleston took his path in law and government and legislation. He took his path. He took his path of helping his people. I took my path. And in doing that, you prioritize the community before yourself. And that's the thing that'll never work, because it's all about self development. It has to be a change inside of you that sparks you to do better. And a leader cannot bring that. A leader cannot make you love yourself. A leader can inspire you to move. A leader can inspire you to embrace some of their teachings. Why do you think they kill the leader? Soon as you kill the leader, what happens? Everybody just disperses. There's nobody to follow anymore. So this is why you have to understand, like, no matter how great of a leader you have, there's inner work that every individual has to do. And until y'all really take that accountability for yourself and understand that you're contributing to this big picture, you're contributing to how the world looks. And until you understand and embrace that, this world is always going to be fucked up. And you're always going to be overly critical of a leader. You're always going to have some bullshit to say about somebody outside of you when you're the biggest coward in the equation. Because instead of spending that time talking about what another motherfucker didn't do, it just reminds me of how kids are overly critical of their parents. How you just, as a child, you just throwing stones at these people that created you and did the best that they could. You being so critical of this person when you could be using that energy to better yourself. And the more you better yourself, I promise you'll have a different view of your parents. Those little spats and them little critiques that you got for your people, they go away. Because a person that's good in here, they don't have any hate to spew out to the world. All you can do is project what is already in you. All I see is a bunch of hurt, trauma-filled people, because that's what y'all express all the time. Stop spreading that shit. Get off the fucking internet. A lot of y'all need to get the fuck off the internet absorbing shit and spewing out all this hate. And you want to fucking get on here and act like this shit, oh, this is just the internet, everybody's fucking doing it. Bunch of coward ass niggas, just coward. You wouldn't dare say some of the shit that you say online in a person's face. You would not say these things. That's how you know this shit is it's coward energy. And you know deep down the shit y'all be saying online is wrong. This shit is fucked up, the shit y'all be saying. Stop looking at this cyber world like it ain't connected to the real. This is real. These are real people showing up every day. Stop the bullshit. It ain't metaverse, universe. All this shit is the same. This shit is becoming very intertwined. Everything about this world is moving toward integration. Stop all this separation type shit. Now's the time in human history that we have to learn how to love everybody. That's the only way to change this shit. Stop fighting for you and your own. Stop fighting for your race. Stop thinking it's just about you and your people. Like I've been saying in this live, everybody's mixed. You're not full-blooded shit. If it is any full-blooded people, you're part of the very rare people on the fucking planet. But I doubt we got any people that's like purely full-blooded anything. No, this is an integrated mixed world. Now is the time in human history that we need to show our kids that we could do the right thing as people and love each other. All this fighting and shit, stop. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? When the fuck are people gonna stop being greedy? The fuck are you so scared to love and so quick to fight? You think that's what makes you brave? That you can go kill somebody or critique somebody or judge somebody? All this negative shit y'all be doing. Coward ass shit. All of it. I think I said enough. I don't want to harp on it too long. Now I can feel myself making some of the same points. So watch the replay. Watch the replay if you really want to hear everything I said. I'm posting this on my YouTube. I post all my live sessions that I do here on my Facebook. I post it on my YouTube. My YouTube is already starting to do more numbers. I'm getting more subscribers. I'm ready for the world to hear me. I've been quiet for long enough. I've been on a long enough path where I know now that when I show up and speak, I'm going to have a lot of value to give. I'm not one of them people that just wants to show up and give you some bullshit. So at this point, I have been putting the community before myself. I've been putting my world dream before myself, just like Martin Luther King had to fight for his dream. Do you have a dream? They say everybody got to have a dream. What does your dream look like? How are you fighting for your dream? And I don't even like using the word fight, but how are you walking in your dream? Are you being a reflection of your dream? It takes guts to do that. Respect the people that have a dream and got the balls to walk in it. This shit ain't easy to do that. You got to have a lot of passion for what you're moving toward. That ain't nothing to slander. You don't slander people that have done that with their lives. Let's have respect. Let's stop treating the social media world like it ain't got real people in it. Stop all this internet character bullshit. Y'all making a mockery out of humanity. You making a mockery out of, like, all this shit got us looking like heartless, soulless idiots. I know we better than that. And I know you better than that, Charleston. Charleston White, you better than that. As entertaining as you are as a character, I know your heart. I know your heart. And that shit is fucked up, some of the shit you be saying. It just is. Stop fucking spewing out that book. I ain't even gonna say stop. You gonna do what the fuck you want to do. At this point, I know you don't give a fuck. And you might wholeheartedly believe that Martin Luther King fucked up our people and he's the reason. But that ain't, I'm just here to say I don't agree with that. You spreading bullshit by saying that. And now you got a bunch of following ass people that can't think for themselves also hopping in your comment sections, spewing all this negative energy on Martin Luther King when all he was preaching was love. I don't give a fuck about the flaws in his approach and how he could have did something different and how he came to the realization he was leading his people into a burning building. That man was human, but he had good in his heart. Stop tearing down people that got good in their hearts. It's always a heartless motherfucker want to be critical of somebody that got a heart. It's always a heartless, cold motherfucker that want to tear down somebody that actually has good in them. And this is how you think we gonna make progress? This is really how you think we gonna make progress? Out y'all fucking rabbit ass mind. I'm about to play this song. I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna let this song play. This is how we gonna end this live. I'm gonna get this phone real low. We're gonna get it real low. I'm gonna sit my ass down and we're gonna listen to the lyrics. I want you to listen because I actually have shit to say. And ultimately, I'm an artist. I have a very deep purpose in something I'm fighting for, but I'm a fucking artist and I have music that I want people to hear. And it's time for people to hear it. So I just want y'all to understand when I'm going live, I'm going to be directing you to the music. So this composition is called One Race Matters. Listen to the words. I'm going to turn my microphone off. And yeah, let me make sure. Let me make sure my shit is on. Put that on the right setting. Okay. Again, my name is Yave. This is One Race Matters. About to let it run. Go ahead, play this one. Yep. All right, I'm going to turn my microphone off right now. So when the music starts, just listen. Take that.
How are we going to get rid of racism and stop talking about it? I'm going to stop calling you a white man. I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Don't speak all at once. More peace, all I want. Don't be so aggressive. Too much noise in the air. I don't care, yeah, you talk too much. If it ain't about love, you are not with us. All that hate in your heart, that could not be us. Good vibes every day when you rock with us. Take that motherfucking mask off. Whoa. All I see killing you is bad thoughts. Whoa. That needle in your arm will be the last straw. Yo, look how they open wounds just to add salt. But I ain't here to focus on the negative. Energy get way too dark. I'm out my element. You said I'm way too light. You probably right. It's a war, but I'm way too pure to try and fight. Yeah, perspective over opinion. Nowadays, whenever I speak, it's part of the mission. Random conversation is nothing I'm ever missing. People's entertainment is rarely keeping my interest. This one got shot in the foot. How that look? Who did it? None of it matter long as she good. People trade empathy in to make a meme. Claim that you want true love but made a sin. Damn. Don't speak all at once. More peace, all I want. Don't be so aggressive. Too much noise in the air. I don't care, yeah, you talk too much. If it ain't about love, you are not with us. All that hate in your heart, that cannot be us. Good vibes every day when you rock with us. If it got the word black in it, I support, but I can't get too wrapped in it. If color don't matter, why we fight for it? I know race is a lie, I won't die for it. I don't really give a fuck what your skin like. Anybody get respect if you live right. If I judge you, it's based on your content. If I love you, it's all where your heart is. I'm against all oppression, don't mix the message. I'm aware of how shit twists and get messy. But if you really know what I mean, then all it means, nothing ever is what it seems. You believe what you want, I ain't here to sway nothing. A lot of people on this planet trying to say something. Who the fuck are we to say who got the better words? When you talk and don't listen, then you never learn. How you want a bunch of praise that you never earn? How you ever gonna evolve if you never turn? Take them old ideas and go let them burn. Forward thinkers on the verge, let them all emerge. But don't speak all at once. More peace, all I want. Don't be so aggressive. Too much noise in the air. I don't care, yeah, you talk too much. If it ain't about love, you are not with us. All that hate in your heart, that cannot be us. Good vibes every day when you ride.
There's only one race on the face of the earth, the human race. We are all members of the same race. You and I are 30th to 50th cousins. Whether you like it or not, you are one of my 30th to 50th cousins because we have the same ancestor back there 300,000 to 500,000 years ago, and they were black. The only reason you have light skin and the only reason I have lighter skin is because those black people, those brilliant black people left the area of the equator and moved. And as they moved farther and farther from the equator, their bodies produced less and less melanin, so their skin, their hair, and their eyes got lighter. They didn't become members of a different race. They simply became people whose bodies reacted to the natural environment.
It seems like every single day on television I'm talking about race, and it's because of the news cycle. It's in the news. But sometimes I get so tired of talking about it. I want to just go, this is over. Can we move on?
And if you talk about it, it exists.
That was my composition called One Race Matters. I hope you absorb the words. I'm a musician first, but I really want people to listen to what I'm saying. I really want people to listen. It's time for people to start listening. It's time for people to start really getting in tune with their heart. This world is lacking a lot of heart, and I know I'm gonna bring that heart out of people. And I have years of music that I just haven't been pushing, but now's the time I really want to push it. I have enough experience under me. I know I can get in front of people and use my voice to do something positive. I can really push the type of message I want to push, and I can really be myself and give y'all substance and give it to you in a confident type of way. and I can break it down with confidence. Whatever I'm thinking, whatever thoughts, I know I can break down things to people in a way where they can understand, because I know behind all this negativity and hate, it's people in this world that just want a better life. We all want better. It's time for us to do better. Period. It's time for us to do better, whether it's online or offline. Wherever you show up, you should be giving your best energy. It's too much fuckery going on. This shit is not funny. Everybody's here for the entertainment and the games and the jokes. I'm all for having a good time. Yes, you get this life, and I believe you should want to have a good time. So enjoy your time on the earth, but at the same time, be mindful of the energy you're absorbing and the energy you're giving off. So that's my message. I hope y'all listened. Feel free to watch this again. And whatever conversation you want to have in the comments, go ahead. Just make sure if you are talking in the comments, whether you see this on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you see it, try to have a conversation rooted in love. Try to have a conversation outside of your own personal feelings. Hear other people. Don't respond with hate. Try to understand people around you. The more you try to understand, the less hate you spew out. Love is about acceptance, that everybody's not going to think like you or move like you, but try to understand where people are coming from. That's all I got. My name is Yahweh. Don't forget to wave. I love y'all.